Howdy, folks, and welcome to RGL Season 13 coverage presented by Fireside Cast. We've got the Battle of the Global Clans. Yes, Global Clan Fire versus Global Clan Ice today. Some last-minute mix-up in the rosters to make things even crazier this evening, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Should be hopefully in for a good match here. I'm excited to get things kicked off. My name is Anthony Gecks Mizerandino, and joining me is a great friend of mine. Played on various teams with him over the years, down in the wee depths of the RGL divisions. And very excited to have him alongside me tonight, Mr. Tcmano. TC, how we
Oh,
doing?
I'm doing phenomenally. That was an amazing intro, Gex. I'm so excited to cast this match one because, like you said, it is the battle of the global clans. Who is going to come out on top? The Fire Nation is attacking. We're gonna have to see. I had to get that one in there early. It was prime and ready for it, but we're gonna see how they're gonna be able to fare. And also, it's just gonna be so exciting to cast with you, Gex, because, like you said, we have played together, and also you were one of the first casters I watched when I started getting into competitive TF2. So to be able to cast with you tonight on hopefully a great game here on Bagel should be phenomenal.
I'm super excited for it. This is a real treat. So I'm ready to get things kicked off. And yes, as we said, it is the battle of the global clans. There was some I don't even know where to start with it, to be honest. Over on the side of Global Clan Ice, a lot of different, I guess, mix-ups in the roster this evening. And I just have to say one thing. So Indust was on this roster. I prepared when I was getting ready for just the cast today, doing the whole research thing, getting things started. I was looking. I was like, oh my god, Indust is on the roster. I was like, it was one of the because I'm an old timer. I've been I don't keep up with the scene as much these days. Saw Indust on the roster. I was pumped. I was like, from my time, it was like Indust was someone that I look up to when I was first getting into the game as a med player and all that. And then I found out Indust isn't playing with us this evening, and then I got very sad. But I'm also, on that same note, very excited to see some of these new players that I'm less familiar with. I know they've been around now for years at the higher end of the scene, and very excited to see this all unfold this evening. TC, I don't even know where to start. At least on the side of
Sure.
rosters, we've got. I mean, on the side of GCI, I know. So we were talking Indust out. Hannah is now in on med. On their side,
Yes.
Kawa, I think, left the roster, but is still playing this evening for GCI. I was like literally in the middle of researching, and I saw Kawa on the roster, and then I refreshed the page, and then Kawa had left. So some big mix-ups here. They are 0-3. I'm sure a bit of turbulence on that side of
Oh
things
yeah.
on the GCI side.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I guess we can go down the roster, and this is as we see it so far. So, maybe halfway through this game, we see some last minute swaps, but it should be Market and Scratch are going to be the two Market coming in for Playmo, who was previously on Scout, but Playmo's now on Soldier, going to be on Pocket Soldier, replacing Dakota. So that's Percy, I believe, leaving the roster together. Kawa, she's at least stepping in for tonight. I don't think she's going to be on the roster long term, but she's helping out. Putting in her 2 weeks notice for the team. So they can get someone to replace her. She's going to be back up on Roamer. The demo going to be Piniferous, still sticking with the team, and the medic is going to be Hannah. She's coming in, filling the boots that Indust has left behind. And a lot of these people, Gex, played at Philly LAN as the team known as the Sisters. And they did fairly well, to be honest. They came in the open part of a tournament, and they were able to go in, win the open part, and be able to contend against the invite teams. And they actually did really, really well against the Psy Guy Sandblast team. They did really well there. And then I guess you can go over the G roster super quick.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We'll get to that in just a second. But before I do, I want to make sure we get this in here in our top of show, guys. The just a couple of quick call outs. Fireside has moved from Patreon to Fourth Wall for monthly memberships. Make sure you support us monthly and receive perks such as channel VIP, access to unreleased videos, and Fireside content and more. Supporting us keeps these beautiful casts going. Type !subscribe and subscribe today. Definitely a lot of great work going on here over on the side of Fireside Cast, bringing coverage across multiple divisions of RGL. So any support is very much appreciated. A lot of people putting in a lot of hard work. And then also, just one more quick shout out here. The Pastime 4v4 community has dropped merchandise. Use Pastime5 for 5% off. Pastime merch, hoodies, embroidered patches, stickers, and more. Type !Pastime merch to shop and even join the Discord. So all the info there. Again, !Pastime merch. Give as much support as you can. Again, like I said, a lot of great work going into keeping TF2 thriving and running here on the side of Fireside Cast and across the board. So make sure you show your support where you can and when you're able to. But taking a look over at the GlobalClan Fire side of things, and I need to go scroll down now to make sure I have have the right rosters here, because my notes are just screwed from what I originally put in there. But over on the Flank Scout side of things, got KJ Quad, Pocket Scout, Fancy Sun, Roamer, Saxophone, I believe. And then Pocket, we got Wonder, Demo, Averted, and Medic Divine. TC, you got any quick notes on these guys? I think we are going to be getting started here very shortly, but any big notes here for you on this roster?
Yeah, of course. Probably the standout player is going to be KJ Quad. The man is a menace. In the notes we got, he's a huge DM lord, just like really great at just going in, taking a fight, and winning it 9 times out of 10. So he's definitely, I think, the player to look at if you're looking at this GCF roster. I think overall, when you compare both of these teams, GCI definitely kind of want to try and prove themselves. It's a bit more favored for GCF because, like you said, GCI, they've already lost 3 games so far in this season against teams that probably shouldn't have, against newcomers Rome and FGP, who are very much newer in this invite scene. And you've got some experienced people on GCI, Scratch, Kawa, even Pinefris, who have a lot of experience in kind of like that mid-invite range. So I think they definitely wanted to be doing a lot better than they have so far. I think when you're kind of looking at it, Scratch, KJ Quad, the Scouts are definitely kind of the initial standout players. But on Bagel, it's a really great map. It's going to be back and forth, super chaotic. You can expect everyone to have a chance to try and make a play here. And I think it's going to be maybe down to probably the soldiers, actually, to see who can have the better bombs, who can have the better flank plays. And you know what we did see on land, Gecks?
What's that?
We saw a lot Kawa Pyro. Kawa likes to go Pyro. It's kind of her thing. She did it actually on this map on Bagel, and they won the round with her on Pyro. So we might be seeing that tonight.
I love the shenanigans. I would love to see some shenanigans. Maybe an interesting map to pull it out on would be Bagel. That's for sure. But I'm all about it. I love the shenanigans. Anything to mix it up and keep things interesting. As I was kind of looking into GlobalClan Fire today as well, kind of making sure I got up to speed on everything. The cool part is it seems like there's kind of a strong core here, one that has kind of worked their way up through some of the ranks of RGL. You may have already said this, so apologies if I'm repeating myself, but they are repeating you. But a strong core here that's kind of worked up through some of the various divisions of RGL, which is great to see. Not a lot of when we talk about at these like higher levels and invite, for a lot of the players on this roster, you're talking like 3rd, 4th season of invite kind of thing. No like crazy performances in any of them. It seemed like a bit of middle of the pack kind of thing. But I will say, looking back at some of their matches this season too, and they've only played 2 so far, but they came very close to beating Froyo in their first match of the season on process. It was a 3-4 loss. So, I mean, there's obviously some sort of potential in this team here to really perform big. And I mean, when you look at these two teams against each other, considering the recent turbulence over on the side of GCI, I mean, if I were to make a prediction, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, but if I was a betting man, I would, I'd be taking GCF in this one. I feel like all the way. They just seem like they've got, you know, a bit more of a polished, a bit more, or GCF, or sorry, am I looking at the wrong one? No, yes, GCF. Yeah, they just seem like they're a bit more polished right now. GCI's got a bit of turbulence. So, I mean, we'll see. The last time I casted, I was with Marxist, and we thought it was going to be a blowout last season in the playoffs of the match that we were casting, and it turned out to be the complete opposite. So, as they say in American football, any given Sunday, you never know what's going to happen. Maybe some of these change-ups in the rosters will help GCI this evening pick up the win. But at the end of the day, all we can hope for is a good match, right?
We can indeed. And I think Bagel is definitely one of those maps that even if it is potentially just a 4-0 game, you can still have a lot of great moments on it just to how the map plays, and obviously KOF kind of lends itself to that. So I think we should be in for a good showing either way, even if GCF just kind of show up and display their dominance for everyone to look at. Regardless, though, I do agree with kind of what you're saying. GCF in their match against Freyotech was very impressive. It should be noted that Freyotech have had a bit of a different roster, so I think it was maybe not the Freyotech that we saw at the LAN, but we are going to be going live, GCF versus GCI, the battle of the global clans. Who's going to come out on top? I'm going to have to agree with you, Marxist, and give this one to Global Clan Fire, but we can see if maybe Ice can put a spell on things as we go here on our first mid.
Right, both teams posturing for now. It looks like a couple players trying to work their way inside this left side house on the GCF side of things. We do have Kawa bombing in. Will she get cleaned up? No, able to make it out cleanly. Took a lot of damage in the process, but a lot of pressure on the point here from GCF at the moment. They've got a lot of time down. They are just kind of tap dancing back and forth. Oh. No deaths yet. Hannah is incredibly low. Does end up getting the pack, though, and GCF is going to take the first cap here.
Yeah, they did. Just because Hannah had to back out there. She had to back out so she wasn't able to heal her team, meaning that GCF were able to get to the point. Now, GlobalClan Ice want to try and recontest this. Playmo does go down super weak, but it's actually going to be Market who falls. Looks like Scratch wants to maybe try and get this in just a little bit, but actually, no, they're going to be able to bully everyone on GlobalClan Fire off of the point. Saxophone goes down a bit late in that. Uber finally used from Hannah, but Divine still has 100%, so you know they're going to be able to get back here with Uber at Gecks.
GCI, I mean, they were, Scratch got down to, I mean, a sliver of health, and understandable why Hannah would want to pop there, but unfortunately wasn't able to force out the Uber on the side of GCF, so they've got quite the advantage to work with here. Saxophone working the way through the right side house. Scratch on point's going to get cleaned up, averted, taking him down, does get traded out, a 1-to-1, but GCF is just going to really be able to take this point with the presence of that Uber, and they still have the advantage, and GCI kind of working their way out onto concrete here. No big pushes yet. They do need to be careful. They're still at big distance. Playmo gonna bomb in. Does get the force out of Divine, so they are gonna be able to even things up and actually probably take the, well, definitely get the Uber advantage here at least. Frags going out across the board though. GCF does get quite a bit of cleanup. Hannah is, I think, going to be able to make it out of here. Maybe no. Soldier chasing all the way back into spawn. What a great surf from Hannah to make it to safety. Does maintain that Uber. Keeps it alive, and they will be able to come back out here. GCF with the point, but GCI with the advantage.
That was so scary for GlobalClan Ice because that was such a great four-man. And they actually got a few picks as well, but that late medic death could have been so complicated. It's going to happen anyway. Saxophone gets in onto the med. That's going to be Hannah taken down, and everyone on GlobalClan Ice is falling now. Now they got to try and maybe get some picks if they possibly can. Looks like Kawa tried to muscle her way in through that left house and might can be taken down. Actually, no, Market to be able to take down Saxophone and help Kawa escapes, but still, Hannah going down there is disastrous because this is going to extend the lead that GlobalClan Fire have in this match.
Man, things were looking really good there for GCI for a second, but it just, as quick as it looked good, it all came crashing down just as fast. So Market is going to fall here on the side of GCI, so they have the point for the time being, but that is certainly not going to last for long. Down a player, they're at 50% disad at GCF looking to come in here with this advantage that they have, and they're just going to storm all over the point. GCI really no chance of this one. They're just going to have to try and get this Uber back and work their way back into mid. Scratch already putting some presence down on the point. The rest of the team not really there to support, and he's just going to get cleaned up. A bit questionable in by himself. Maybe some miscommunication there, but the Ubers are going to go off on both sides here over by this left side house of the blue team. 3 players down on the side of GCF and 2 for GCI. GCF is actually just getting full cleaned up here, and it looks like GCI, GlobalClan Ice, is going to be able to recap.
Yeah, there is a scout in behind. It is going to be Ed, so keep an eye out for him to maybe try and go for a play. Looks like he's in a little bit of a scalpel right now with a scout, and a little bit of a 1v1 is going to be taken down right there. So a good attempt from Ed to maybe try and generate a pick for his team, but GlobalClan Fire, they don't have to be too worried. They have 30 seconds left on the clock that they have down, a lot less than on GCI, who've got 1:30, so they still have a really great shot at taking this round, trying to initiate a little bit of cap at the moment, but Divine is already so weak, so they're gonna have to back up. But we do have a soldier bomb. It's huge, actually. Getting so many Wonder, going massive at the moment. Gonna be able to coordinate with the help of Averted. Gonna be taking down so many on the side of GlobalClan Ice, and I guess the flanks just weren't being watched there, Gecks, because that is gonna be so big for GlobalClan Fire.
Oh, sweet holy God! The soldiers just making plays here on the side of GCF. They have massive advantage here, and they are on full forward hold right now. Market's gonna go down. Playmo falls as well. And this is nearly impossible at this point for GCI to turn it around. And here you called it, TC. You called it the Calipyro. I don't think it's gonna be in time though. Still 3 seconds on the respawn here. They're trying to get out, but GCF just has such a death grip on this forward hold here, and they are gonna take round 1, making it 1-0.
Yeah, and the thing is, saw a lot of great opportunities for GlobalClan Ice. There were opportunities, where they had the Uber ad. It looked like they maybe could have gotten on the point, but just Hannah, somehow someone was able to sink the rockets, the damage onto her, and she was dropped such inopportune times, and GlobalClan Ice weren't really given an opportunity to weren't able to execute on an opportunity into this match. So we're gonna have to see if maybe they're gonna have a bit more luck as we head into the second round. No team just gonna be able to play it slow as they wait for the point to unlock, whether they maybe try and send Sax. Looks like there's a bit of a scuffle over here on the left side house. It's gonna be Saxophone just gonna be trying to hold his own as they get across. We have some soldiers bombing for space, and it's GlobalClan Fire having a lot of great points. They're actually gonna be able to cap it up. Saxophone, however, does go down for the trouble, so GlobalClan Ice maybe have an opportunity to try and reinitiate here, Gecks.
They definitely have the opening. Scratch on the point. They're tiptoeing around here. Scratch getting some good shots off into the demo, but no frags as of yet. But they do have the point presence for the time being. But the scout on the side of GCF also applying some pressure. Ubers pop out on both sides. GCI was a bit earlier with their pop, and actually Wonder's going to be going in deep. It actually gets a nice flash as well to stay alive. Will he be able to survive? He's up in the skybox, and no, he falls. So GCI with the momentary player advantage here. There's a lot of time down on the point, but they still haven't gotten the cap, and now almost a minute has passed for the GCF point time, and they still are maintaining a presence. These scouts are just dancing on the top of the point here. Saxophone goes in for the melee kill, unable to find anything, and they're still just they're down a player.
Yeah,
they have a player advantage, but they're not finding much with it. They're dancing around on the point, but not getting anything.
Yeah, they really do. They're trying to play the point, but the thing is, GlobalClan Fire have been unlocked, so I'd like to maybe try and go in for some sacks, but Ed is just coming up so massive. Now everyone on GlobalClan Ice have to back up unless they lose anyone more. And yeah, they were just sitting on the point for so long there, Gecks, but they really didn't do anything. They just sat there and was like, can you please give us the point? And GlobalClan Fire said no. So they didn't get the point, and that was just so much time ticking down for GlobalClan Fire throughout all of that.
It looks like we got bit of a pause coming out here as well. But yeah, I mean, it felt like, and let me know how you feel about this, TC. But it felt like some of the point presence was lacking on the GCI side. It was basically just like they would get the player advantage, and then it was just kind of like, I don't know, scout, like poking around on the point, and there was not really a lot of other like high ground presence or anything to help them out and make, you know, rain down spam or whatever it is to help kind of secure that mid that cap. So tough looks from the side of GCI here, but I mean, I see some of the potential here. Like they can do it. I think it's just a couple small things to clean up, but they are at a huge time disadvantage now as we get towards later in this round.
Yeah, they are going to be at a very big time advantage. It's not 30 seconds or whatever it says right now on the timer. It was about, I think, a minute 20. Oh, okay. Yeah, a minute 20. Which leads me to believe, because this is 90 seconds in the future, that GlobalClan Fire win this round, and this is a tac pause in response from GlobalClan Ice, which they definitely need, because in this new COF rule set, or new-ish, they're not going to have that guaranteed half. So you've got to take that decision on your own and decide when you want to try and slow down the game and give your team maybe an opportunity to try and even think things out. But I definitely agree with you. They had the opportunity a lot of times. They had a player advantage to maybe try and go forward and do something, but they weren't really using the space awarded to them by that lack of player being there. They weren't really trying to shove one of the houses in the meantime, or maybe even just trying to get some presence on the point. And the thing happened to them in reverse. It was Ed who shoved one of the houses, was able to get in behind, take down a few of the soldiers, and then just because of that, they had to back out and go all the way back. And it seems like GlobalClan Ice, they definitely have the opportunities. They have the potential there. They get the picks. Yeah. They get the momentum in their favor, but just someone on GlobalClan Fire just is able to nullify all of that momentum and just kind of send them back packing. So, it's not completely done for GlobalClan Ice. They just have to kind of shore up their gameplay just a little bit, make sure they're all working at a team and using the opportunities given to them to the max effect.
Yeah, I believe in their ability. They just gotta, clean it up a little bit. And I see here, as I look over at the stream, there's a great shot of who is this, Scratch? Someone in chat, someone said not waving but drowning. So prayers in chat for Scratch as they drowned live here on Fireside Cast. Sad moments here, but hopefully the rest of the team doesn't drown and they can start to work this back. It's I don't know, tough scenario. I mean, trying to look at, I guess, what our situation is whenever it is that we come out of this pause. I know someone was having high ping earlier. Someone was complaining about it. I don't know who that was, or I think it was Market, I believe. I remember seeing them earlier saying something about high ping. So I don't know if that's maybe the cause of the pause that we're in right now. But looking at kind of the landscape of things once we come out of this, I mean, both sides have Uber. Couple hurt players on, really both sides. GCF with kind of the overall health disadvantage here, I think, but even Ubers, but GCF kind of with a big forward hold here, but not, as I kind of scan around, not a ton of left side presence, at least from right side perspective. They've just got things kind of sticky trapped up, and really, a lot of presence over on concrete and through main. So I don't know. I hope Hannah doesn't get obliterated by the trap as they try and come out left side here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. Hopefully we can get things coming back in. Jay, I agree. Unpause the match. Snorge.
Yeah, one thing. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No,
one thing I was going to mention. Oh, as we do go live, Playmo is going to go down. But one thing that's still relevant now is that Divine has not died once, and Hannah has died a few times. So I think if that's your GlobalClan Ice, you ever want to try and protect your medic or be able to get onto Divine a lot more often. As now we unpause, looks like GlobalClan Ice want to try and push out of his left side. They actually be taking the Uber in fairly aggressively. They want to try and get onto someone or at least force out counter Uber, but that's not happened whatsoever. So now they're going to have to go all the way back. But soldiers bombing in onto GlobalClan Ice, and actually they're going to play their lives, which is extremely smart. We do have a soldier trying to bomb in behind. That is going to be Kawa. She is going to be able to take down the demo, so that is something for her troubles, but they're still at big Uber disadvantage here, Gecks.
That is a big pick, but yeah, I don't know if it's enough to really overcome this. Oh, big bomb in, or actually they're able to. Hannah falls, but they do get the pop out of GCF. Down in the corner there, so it's just a scrappy fight back and forth here. A couple blue players left, GCI. There's not really much they can do. Hannah just got the spawn. Kawa up on the pyro again. I love it. Up on the pyro again. I don't know if it's going to be the saving grace here for them. Oh, the big reflect. Oh my God. Kawa takes down Wonder. Averted ends up picking up two. Hannah being one of them. Unfortunately, that might just seal the deal right there. That's going to be a tough one. GlobalClan Fire is going to be able to get the round. That is 2-0, but, you know, we saw Big Pyro play. That's nice. Makes me happy. Wrong config, too.
Interesting. And suddenly, it appears a lot of people have disappeared from the server. So I'm not sure. Actually, looks like they might be rejoining. Because I think they were thinking about changing to a different server, but I don't think they're going to. Either way, we can take a little look at the logs because they did it incorrectly, so we can take this moment to just try and see in this halftime that we have been graciously alerted, Gecks, see if we can see anything. And I'm looking at the logs, and the thing I see is immediately what I said. Divine not dying a single time. Hannah has died 4 times, which on any product map, it's amazing. Product cough map, it's amazing if you don't die as a medic, so exceptional for Divine to do it here on Bagel. But you know, that does speak to, you know, GlobalClan Ice have to really try and get onto Divine if they are going to be losing Hannah as often. You know, if you lose your medic, that can be okay as long as you're able to, you know, send the 4-man, send the sacks, and you know, pop or get the kill ideally out onto Divine. So maybe GlobalClan Ice just not being as aware as they should be of maybe those flanks in the first place that are being able to get onto Hannah and take her down.
Yeah, the one standout thing for me too on the side of GCF, I mean the soldier presence. There was a few different times where we were kind of going nuts there on just the you know, the fragging ability and the movement and getting in deep and applying pressure on the side of GCF. They really seem to be quite effective with the soldiers in that department. I mean, looking at the logs here. You know, not necessarily the largest amount of frags, but, you know, good damage, and I think just good presence getting on Hannah and the rest of the combo and applying the pressure throughout that first, well, I struggle to call it half, but during those first couple rounds, you know, so yeah, maybe GCI needs to get the soldiers activated a bit more. And yeah, it's just a tough, certainly a tough situation. Down 2-0 now. We'll see what happens server wise, or if they change things around. I don't know if particular individuals were having an issue with the current server, but I don't know if there's a way back here for GCI. I mean, there's always a way, but GCF just looking very coordinated and collected across the board, and it's going to be a long way home for GCI to try and get themselves back in this one.
Yeah, definitely a long way. Definitely doable because they have the talent. The talent is there on the rosters. You know, they were so good. At least the core of those players were so good on LAN. And, you know, they've had really great showings before, and it's definitely doable for them. At least not to lose as kind of hard as they're losing right now. I think the thing is Market is restarting their router, so they should be back with us, and then we can go live as the GlobalClan Ice players are now slowly rejoining. So I think we are going to be able to stay on this server, but I do think it is possible for them, even though they have lost 3 times already. They have the talent there. It's just something about the coordination. I don't know who's like calming, or maybe people aren't calming as much. Maybe it's some type of mental thing, or maybe that they all like to play the game in a slightly different way. So one guy likes to play a bit passive, one guy likes to play a bit aggressive, but they definitely can do that. I think if they want to get in on this match, definitely protecting Hannah or getting onto Divine first would be a real big thing. And then, like you said, being able to enable their projectile players a lot more, because I think, poor Penny, only 228 DPM. You put that in comparison to Averted, a big 356 damage, and I think maybe it's the positioning, maybe it's just the healing, maybe it's just how I'm saying everything at the moment is kind of hard to say, but I think it's definitely still doable for GlobalClan Ice, because at LAN they were really, really great, and they were able to go so close against Sandblast Ford Gaming team, which is not a team to that's a pretty good team, Gecks. A lot of great talented inviters were there on, and then they almost lost to the core of GlobalClan Ice. So to see them doing so poorly so far throughout this season and this match is definitely a bit of a shock.
Yeah, and I mean, it can't be understated too. With some of the roster, I guess, turbulence on the side of GCI as well, and some of the change-ups. I mean, I'm sure that doesn't help in the coordination department. You're talking about coordination. I mean, they, I can even think back to what I think it was round one. I want to say it was round one. There was, GCI had what seemed like a great opportunity. They're moving up towards the point. I think they had player advantage, maybe even Uber ad or something, and Scratch just ended up being in all by themselves, on the center point and just getting picked off early. And it just seemed like not quite on the same page across the board. So I think your point there is great of just, maybe the gears not turning all in rhythm here on the side of GCI, but certainly the roster changes and kind of some of the mix-ups in that department doesn't help that situation, certainly. So it looks like, though, we've got everybody back in the server, so I think we're going to be back into game here any moment now. So excited to see if GCI can work their way back, but GCF so far just dominating, up 2-0 as we head in. And a reminder, it is 1-4 across the board, so only 2 more rounds needed on the side of GCF.
Yeah, only 2 more rounds for them. And, if they do win this match, I think they're looking really great going into the later stages of Invite. They might be able to get into that top 4 for playoffs, but we're going to have to see if they can close it out, because other teams have beefed in similar scenarios. We're going to have to see if GlobalClan Fire are going to be able to hold strong as we go in onto this mid. Once again, no one initiating early, just going to be able to try a bit of feelers, trying to see if there's maybe an opening that they can take advantage of. Again, looks like GlobalClan Fire just have the better spam damage, have the better positioning in general. They're going to be able to take control of the mid before anyone dies. Now it's going to be Scratch dying, trying to get aggressive across the point, is going to die because of it. And now GlobalClan Ice, they have so many weak players. It's staying alive at maybe 5 hit points, and she's going to have to go all the way. But once again, GlobalClan Ice are just kind of waiting around.
They're trying to repressure the point, though. Market taking the momentary pocket roll and going forward. They pop the Uber. It's going to be a much better Uber on the side of GCF, so GCI definitely needs to be careful. A lot of players down on the low ground. The Soldiers, once again, making some plays. It actually only ended up being a 1-for-1 trade, but some good damage coming out somehow. Actually, GCI ends up kind of getting the better of this fight here. GCF down 2, and all the players out on the field on the side of GCI. They clean up Wonder as well. They're still scrapping it out on the point. Fancy Sun was trying to make something happen in the back there, but they do. Oh, Hannah did go down. Oh, yeah. Goodness. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Oh, that's so sad, because they really,
I know.
For a second there, it looked great, and then it crumbled.
It really They did look great. Like, it seemed like they were able to take care of all of his soldiers. You know, they took down the demo. They were able to get in. Actually, Penny getting a nice pick on the Wonder might be able to keep them in control at this point for a little while longer, because Divine doesn't have Uber here. So GlobalClan Fire were just trying to take this off of pressure now with a soldier down. They're going to have to wait for them to get back up. But yeah, it was looking really good for GlobalClan Ice, who would have been able to hold the point with big old Uber advantage in their favor. But now they're going to have to hold it at disadvantage and maybe try and bait out the Uber from Divine if they possibly can. It's going to be tough for them to try and hold this, because the Uber can come out at any second, and it is. But Ed dies early into the Uber. Scratch is going to be taken down, so that's going to be an equal trade. Good job on Fancy Sun, but he goes in so deep to try and collect something else, and it's not going to happen. Now, Averted was a big cut out there. Wonder might fall as well. No's going to be able to rocket jump away back to Divine, and that is going to be a recapture from GlobalClan Ice.
Oh, big bomb from Saxophone. Wasn't able to convert on anything there. Yeah, a little Fancy Sun going a little deep there. Ended up getting 2v1 over by Wood, but you know, is what it is. Actually, things looking pretty even in the time department though, and a good Uber advantage here. Over on the side of GCI, not electing to go for any sort of forward hold. I missed the situation fully, may not have been able to get themselves up there to go for the forward hold, so GCF starting to work their way back out, but GCI having the presence on point for now. Scout gets piped, I think, over there on the point, so that's going to slow things up just a bit for GCI, but let's see how GlobalClan Fire want to attack things. They have control of this right side, trying to fight off anyone, trying to work their way into the houses. And yeah, they're really just poking back and forth. Divine is about to come up on the Uber, though, so we are going to be looking at an even situation. The question is who comes out on top of this post-Uber fight.
Divine is going to use, and they went so low. It's a miracle that they were able to use just in time to stay alive. Now the counter Uber gonna come out from GlobalClan Ice, and looking a bit better for them because they did use later and they didn't drop anyone, so they're gonna be able to refight with everyone up. A lot of damage out onto Playmo. He is gonna fall because of it. Fancy Sun gonna be able to take that pick, so now they got one pick to work with. They might be able to work their way forward across the point. GlobalClan Ice kind of backed up here, and they are gonna be able to take it, so point captured in the favor of GlobalClan Fire. Now GlobalClan Ice, they want to try and get back onto the point. Soldiers across to try and make some space. Some good damage from Saxophone, however, from one of the houses, going to be able to take down Scratch. And that should be GlobalClan Fire sticking on to the point for just a little while longer, Gecks.
They do. Are going to get some time back. GCI in the lead at the moment. Soldiers having the presence on the point yet again for GCF, but there is an Uber up on both sides here. Wonder was down on the low ground. We are going to have an exchange on that same low ground for the time being. Kawa does end up going down, so momentary player advantage for GCF. And we'll see the respawns not in their favor on the side of GCI, but here comes Playmo. Was getting some good rockets into the players on the low ground, but couldn't convert on any of the frags. One player down on both sides here, and GCI is going to actually lose a second and a third. GCF looking good to take this one. Hannah ends up falling. Divine lives in the fight. They just collapsed and laid the pressure on them, and now GCI on the back foot a little bit. They only have 14 seconds left, but point currently controlled by GlobalClan Fire and the Pyro. Once again, TC is back out.
Pyro setting GlobalClan Fire on fire. You'd think they'd be resistant to it just a little bit, yeah, considering their name, but Kawa is still trying to set them alight regardless as GlobalClan Ice trying to push their way out. Kawa doing actually a bit of damage with the Pyro, able to get the force out, but I don't think there's anyone there to maybe take advantage of that, as now it's only going to be 3 up on GlobalClan, and they're all the way back in their spawn. They might actually have the opportunity to, but they have to go. They did get the Uber out. I don't know if they're going to be able to get Uber in time before we go into overtime. They might just be able to, so it's definitely still due for an Ice. So working their way out through Garage. The Pyro trying to get through. Cowboy does die, but the Uber comes out from Scratch. They are not really finding anything at the moment. Ed does die, but that's the only player. Oh, and nice pipe onto that Soldier, I believe. They're going to be sending them around Sky High. Saxophone does go down. They are going to be able to capture up the point, but GlobalClan Fire now in an opportunity to maybe try and recollapse. Oh, they got to get on the point, though. It's so close.
Oh, one, they're so low. They got to finish him off. Their demo comes flying in. A verdict goes down. Scratch falls as well. It's a 5v5 for the time being, and there it is. All right. Well, oh, man. GCF getting another round. It was so close down to the end. Oh, man. Well, that's going to leave it now at a 3-0. GCI's positioning post over there was a bit tough, just sitting on the low ground, and now GCF, GlobalClan Fire, looking at a match point scenario. It is 3-0 overall here. So, progress being made from GCI for sure, getting themselves to, an overtime situation there, but just couldn't quite seal the deal. Tough looks, GCI here, but we are back into another mid. And so far, no frags going down. Market trying to maintain control of that upper area of the point, and we are going to find one player going down on each side here. Ooh, some low health soldiers in the houses as well, but they're just kind of going back and forth. GCF does end up getting that first cap, and KJ fell on that, and now GCI looking to try and retake this point. A couple frags coming through out of nowhere, and they're definitely going to be able to pick this one up here.
Yeah, really great stuff to get those frags, because it's looking like they would have to fight an even Uber scenario to try and get that in, which they haven't been too eager to do in the past. So definitely good to get those picks and get the point because of it. Now they're in a little bit of a forward hold situation, but they can't really hold it because Playmo is down, so they have to play a bit passive here, allowing Saxophone to jump in, make some space for the team. It's actually going to be Fancy Sun, however, who dies to the combined damage from Kawa, as now everyone on GlobalClan Fire, they still want to try and muscle their way in here. Wonder is going to die, but they are going to be able to take down Market. Kawa, however, in behind, she's wrapping around, is going to be able to jump in, get some rockets off onto Divine, is going to be able to take down Saxophone and get the forked Saxophone, maybe kind of taking the rocket there, get down Mr. President, but Divine still having to use, meaning this is going to be a big old Uber ad for GlobalClan Isom. This is the best position that they've had so far in this entire game.
Easily the best, and I hope they're able to do something with it. Big advantage. They're still not, didn't elect to go for any sort of forward. Maybe it just wasn't in the cards. It may have been too quick of a movement they had to make, but both soldiers working in to the red right side house, blue left, trying to take some presence in one of these houses here. But this is a big moment for GCI. They need to come out on top of this fight, establish some dominance and some control that they can maintain across multiple fights here in this big bomb in. And the Uber's actually gonna end up getting popped over on the side of Hannah. Huge bomb from the soldier. They're gonna get the force. They lose 2 as a result of it, but GCF's gonna be in a great position with the advantage. Divine was not involved in any of that, so they're going to have a full Uber ad, really, to work themselves back in with. But still, GCI getting some good time down on the point.
Yeah, they did get a lot of good time on the point. So even if they do lose this, it's not end of the world, but they're just going to be going in super aggressively. They are going to be able to hunt to Hannah. I don't think that doorway was spotted whatsoever. It seems like they got in so for free there, as now we do have a few players wrapping around behind. One of them is going to be Kawa. She might have an opportunity. But she does get spotted, so yeah, she is going to be taken down. Unfortunate for her. Scratch trying to run in and try and do anything he can is also going to fall, and that was, an opportunity for GlobalClan Ice, but that Uber, they should have been expecting it. They should have had all those doorways watched, but they weren't really watching that left doorway, and because of that, they do all get wiped there, meaning that they have to try and push out with Uber Disad. And Kawa's back up on Pyro, Gecks.
Kawa, I love it. I absolutely love it. See if they can make anything out of it. They did end up finding KJ in that they are at about a 30% disadvantage on the side of GCI. Scratch putting some good presence down on the point, is actually going to find a verdict, getting the demo. Massive pick right there, and they're just going to be able to really walk onto the point and take this one despite the disad. But here they come, GCF out of the left side house. They have the advantage. Are they going to be able to find more of it? I thought they were going to press the issue in through that left side for a second, but no, they are just going to elect to make the smart play, get the time down on the point. We are at an even Uber situation, a player down on both sides. GCI putting pressure straight back onto the point. Saxophone finds Kawa, and the Uber's going to get popped by Hannah. Not the best of situations, as Divine here is going to have a much stronger Uber, and the GCI players just trying to get themselves out and try and keep themselves alive. 2 players down on both sides. GCI is going to control this point for the time being, and they're down to about 10 seconds here. So now GCF a bit on the back foot. They're going to have to make a play, but GlobalClan Ice still down a player, so this is going to be a tough hold for them. No, and GCF is just going to take it. Saxophone does end up falling. Kawa finds that frag. And
they're also weak on the side of GlobalClan Fire. They're going to have to back up here, but it's actually going to be Kawa falling instead. And now it looks like GlobalClan Fire maybe want to try and regress just a little bit. They do have control of the points, but they don't have to. It looks like the scouts want to try and play the high ground here. They are going to be able to take down Fancy on GlobalClan Fire. Want to try and block the point because they realize it's overtime, so they have to get onto it. And I don't think they're going to be able to. That first round for GlobalClan Ice, a very hard fought. It took 3 rounds to get there, but you know, if they keep on winning, they've got a shot to try and get in this match, Gecks. Definitely doable.
Don't call it a comeback, baby. Don't call it a comeback. I believe GCI finally getting around on the board. It is 3-1. GlobalClan Fire certainly in the driver's seat here in this match, but finally some life coming out of the Ice side of the GlobalClan. So we'll see if they can maintain that momentum. It has been some very close rounds the past couple of rounds, and Kawa pyro to mid on this, which is crazy. I love it. Hey, at this point, you know, when things are looking rough, you might as well start trying something crazy because, you know, whatever they were running in the first 3 rounds was certainly not working out that great for them. So
yeah,
we'll see if this bears any fruits for them. Oh, Kawa does end up falling, and there is an Uber on both sides, but things not looking great for GCI. They did get the cap, but now GlobalClan Fire coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, it looks like Scratch wants to try and take this Uber to try and block the point just a little bit, playing it very aggressively. The soldiers bombing in, trying to force it out, and it does happen. The question is, can Scratch force out the Vine? Scratch does, so they are going to probably lose the point regardless. Good job from Scratch to just try and delay that as long as possible. Now it's going to be an even situation for GlobalClan Ice to maybe try and get some damage on the point. They are pretty weak, so Hannah is going to have to back up, so no heals for these frontline players for just a moment. Now Hannah going to be able to walk back up to her team, but is going to have to quickly heal up, and just the damage coming up from GlobalClan Fire is so much better overall from the damage that these GlobalClan Irish players are able to do, and you know, easier time healing. And Hannah so weak yet again. Just seems that anytime Hannah wants to come up and heal her team, play with the team on the front lines, or everyone on GlobalClan Fire just able to just focus fire her down, so she's having to back up. But once again, GlobalClan Ice not being able to cap up the points, so time is just being able to tick down in the favor of GlobalClan Fire. It's going to be around 2:10 on the clock for them to come 2:40 on GlobalClan Ice, and GlobalClan Ice really haven't had an opportunity. They really haven't had a chance to try and go for some type of sack or try and go for some type of team fight. They've just been content on their side of the map, which is not what they can do considering the situation, Gek.
And GlobalClan Fire has been doing such a good job of maintaining. Well, as I say that, Fancy Sun ends up going down, and GCI is getting to the point. But they did just a great job of maintaining control of the houses. Oh no, KJ Quad going to fall as well. 2 down on the side of Fire, and now Scratch is going to press the issue a little bit. Does find averted as well. So great retake on the GCI side of things. Market falls, but for GCF doing some good job just like burning time down there. They had great presence inside of both of the houses, and on top of the midpoint, good high ground, and able to burn some time down there. But GCI not far behind at this point. Now 2 players coming in this left side house trying to take down Kawa and regain control there. Scratch is around to help, but GCF starting to get some time down on this point now. But we're just going back and forth with it. Both sides have Uber. Oh, Uber? Saxophone ends up falling. GCI yet again popping Uber first, but they do end up fighting another frag. 2 down on the side of GCF. Market is the only player down on the side of GCI, so they maintain the player advantage for the time being. And now the collapse coming in from the soldiers. Can they find the additional frags? KJ Quad caught out in the open. He's gonna fall, and GCI, I think, maintains this one. There are some Fire players trying to work back out on that left side, but they are doing a good job of burning down time here.
And that was really great because any pick that GlobalClan Eyes got means that GlobalClan Fire can't capture the point because they're going to be delaying their spawner. Now everyone is finally up and making their way over to the point. GlobalClan Fire are going to be able to try and get some point presence here. They have a lot. They just need a little bit more. They are going to capture it up. And so many players falling from either team. Averted is going to find a lot on GlobalClan Eyes, but he does well. But I think that's going to be the only one falling in GlobalClan Fire, as they're just going to be able to pick up all of these Ice players. Seems like they tried to dive in super deep and weren't really able to find anyone. Divine was taken down fairly low there, but was able to stay alive. And now GlobalClan Ice trying to push their way back out. They do have a lot of space here. The soldiers trying to bomb and trying to deny them as much as they possibly can, but they're already out through the doorway, so they're trying to get onto the point, trying to get some cap time. They might be able to get it. Ed wants to try and block, not going to be able to, but Fancy Sun immediately taking down Scratch means that GlobalClan Fire can have an opportunity to try and get back onto this point almost immediately. Ubers are even. Looks like Fire going to be able to take this for free here.
Oh, man. All right, well, at first it was looking good, and then losing a couple players on the side of GlobalClan Ice. In that fight before that, I don't know what the hell happened. I looked away for a second, and there was like 4 players instantly deleted off the map, and now GCI is just continuing to burn players here. Wonder does end up going down. They will have the respawn advantage, but they are burning through players left and right. Time is essentially even at this point. Uber on both sides, and this is going to be a pivotal fight coming up here. GCI needs to come out on top of this one, or it is curtains, as they are now working their way back to point, and we're going to have that tap dance that we so often see on Bagel here on that center point. And Fancy Sun is going to take a pipe. Market does end up falling, and that is bad news for GlobalClan Ice here, but let's see if they can work it back. Buying a little bit of time. They're going to pop the Uber once again, and that has just been the case so many times here, where they're the first to pop the Uber here. We're going to see the exchange. Kawa ends up falling, and things are not looking good on the side of GCI here. GlobalClan Fire could secure it. Yes, they got to go. They're pressing themselves forward. They got to find the frags. The Uber did end up coming out, but it doesn't matter. GCF ends up taking it. That's it. That's it. 4-1. GlobalClan Fire take the match. Man, things were looking so promising there for a bit on the side of GlobalClan Ice, but GlobalClan Fire just looking too good here, and end up taking the match 4-1.
They really that second half was like much better GlobalClan Ice. You know, they were able to get the point a lot easier. GlobalClan Fire still had a few moments where they were just holding on to and just whittling so much time down, but seems like GlobalClan Ice were at least able to pick Hannah just a little bit better. I don't think they got onto the Vine once there again, so not really as effective, but they were able to at least keep Hannah up and alive a lot more often, I think. They were able to, you know, make a bit of work out of their Ubers in general, and yeah, that's going to be a perfect game for Divine, which is really phenomenal on any map, but especially on a Koff map, and especially on Bagel. Really phenomenal from Divine to stay alive there. Maybe channeling that Indust energy, even though it's a different team, but, you know, still a really, really great performance from them. But, you know, a much better showing from GCI. They took it down to the wire so close in that second half, but at that point the lead was just too great from GlobalClan Fire, and they didn't have any room to make any mistakes, and unfortunately for them, they did make a few mistakes.
It's a tough situation. I mean, really on the side of GCI, fantastic work from Divine, having a perfect game at this level, you know, in invite on a Koth map of all things. Like, that is crazy and rarely seen. So massive shout outs to Divine and the rest of GlobalClan Fire, and you know, the pocket around them to be able to, you know, ensure that Divine lived. But I mean, if you're on the side of GCI, you just gotta put more pressure on the med there. So, you know, just zero deaths there. That is a tough look for GCI. You just gotta find the kills and gotta find a way to get onto the med there. So it's you know, it was a good effort, definitely, as you said, much better second half on the side of GlobalClan Ice, but just couldn't seal the deal at the end of the day. But things maybe looking up. Who knows? They now go to 0-4 GlobalClan Ice. I don't know how much hope there is necessarily for them on this season, but you never know what comes. Obviously, some change ups in the roster, and maybe they can make a better run of it in the second half here. But definitely some promising things to look forward to. But GlobalClan Fire on the other side of things, TC. I mean, they're having a good close run in with Froyo. I know there's been some change ups on that side. But overall, looking pretty good. Maybe a good season ahead for them. So that is going to move them to now, I believe, 2-1 overall.
Yes.
Over on the side of GlobalClan Fire. So definitely some promising stuff from them as well. See if they can maintain it through the rest of the season here.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess we haven't heard anything against it, so I'm going to assume it's going to be the same as last season. So if you didn't watch last season of Invite, the thing is, this is going to be the first stage of Invite. So basically how it works is all these teams are going to play each other once, kind of round robin style. And then after that, we go into stage, which is a bracket system, and that is based off of, the seeding from stage 1. So stage 2 then decides the seeding for stage 3, and stage 3 is the double elim playoffs, and so that is where things are going to really get nitty and gritty there, and the teams are going to be trying to fight to survive there. So definitely still doable for GlobalClan Ice. They do have the full season ahead of them to try and get back in here. So even if they lose all of these matches in stage 1, they're still going to be able to work their way into stage 2 and try and figure things out and maybe try and get a better seeding for the actual playoffs. So definitely not the end of the road for them. But yeah, like you were saying, GlobalClan Fire, close run in for Froyotech, and they beat GlobalClan Ice, they beat Rome. And I think all the other matches that you look at that they've got in front of them, the Darkest Nights, which is kind of like the Kev My Anime list that you'd kind of expect to see via the FP, the government, all of those teams I think are definitely doable for GlobalClan Fire. Maybe the Darkest Nights, a bit of a stretch, but if they beat them, they could definitely find themselves the number 2 team for the season, which at the beginning was definitely not a sure bet, but with their great performances against GlobalClan Ice and Rome, it might happen.
Certainly could. Definitely some promising stuff over on the side of GlobalClan Fire. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes for really both these teams. I mean, as you said, I kind of counted out GCI a bit more than maybe I should have there. Certainly still a lot of room to work back in this season, definitely. So definitely don't want to count anybody out, but GCF certainly looking like the stronger of the global clans at the moment. But anything can happen. Anything can happen, certainly. So a great match this evening. I mean, a bit of what I was expecting, I think, from just kind of looking at the tape, so to speak, from across the board. And again, GCF now moves to 2-1 for their record on the season, and maybe some more wins on the way, looking at some of their upcoming matches. But that's going to start to close things down. I have a few wrapping up points that I need to get through. But TC, I mean, any closing thoughts from your side of things?
Well, first off, shout outs to all the players for playing, because without them, there'd be no match to cast. I hope GCI are going to be able to get a stable roster, because, I know they definitely can have a bit better performances than the ones that they've had so far. So, shout outs to them for still playing regardless. Of course, shout outs to all the people at Fireside, _ doing this production tonight. But Jay, they just put so much work in, and it's really great to have them here to be able to provide, all these games and, coordinate everything amongst the teams and us, the casters. So really big shout outs to them. Shout outs to you, Gecks. It was phenomenal casting with you tonight. You are the GOAT of cast in my eyes. So it was really great to be able to do it with you live here tonight.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, and it was an absolute pleasure to get to cast alongside you, TC. And in case anyone missed the beginning, TC and I were teammates down in some of the lower divs, a year or two ago. We played together for a few seasons, I think it was. So it was great to be able to get to share a cast with you this evening, and hopefully we get to do more throughout the rest of the season. This was an absolute pleasure. And yes, as you said as well, huge shout out to Dr. Underscore and Jay as well over at Fireside for just getting the just putting in crazy amounts of work that really just deserves a ton of support. Because I working on kind of some of the more corporatized like side of esports now. When you come back and see what guys like this do, Dr. Underscore Jay, it's such a breath of fresh air to see just the passion of things. So any support you can provide is huge. And speaking of which, if you are looking for a way to support, Fireside has actually moved. Fireside has moved from Patreon to Fourth Wall for monthly memberships. Support us monthly and receive perks such as channel VIP, access to unreleased videos, and Fireside content, and more. So much more. And support us keeps these beautiful casts going, really. It allows these guys to keep doing what they do and providing great coverage across all of RGL, all the various divisions as well, not just Invite, but really quite a smattering of coverage there. So if you would like to learn more about that and how you can support, you can type !subscribe and subscribe today. And I definitely encourage anyone who is able to do that, because they're really doing a great service for the TF2 community here. And another way to support, if you are interested, is by supporting by merchandise as well. The Pastime 4v4 community actually has dropped merchandise. Use Pastime code PASTIME5 for 5% off. Pastime merch hoodies, embroidered patches, stickers, and a bunch more. Type !Pastime merch to shop, and even join the Discord for that as well. Again, that's !Pastime merch. And you can do !subscribe to check out Fourth Wall as well. So big shout outs to the Fireside team, RGL, and really everybody involved with the leagues and production, and the players as well. Because without you, to steal a line from one of my buddies, without you, we'd just be us. So thank you to the players for giving us some great matches to watch. But that's going to be it. Thank you, everybody. I'm sure I don't know what's coming up here on the Fireside Cast channel. I'm sure there's tons of coverage. But what I do know is coming up next, as a little birdie tells me, is we're going to be rating Habib. So stick around, get in on that. Head over to Habib's channel, give some love from the Fireside community. That's it. Thank you all for tuning in this evening for Fireside Cast coverage of the RGL Season 13 Invite TF2 action. And that's going to do it for myself, Gecks, Tcmano, and Dr. Underscore, and the rest of us overside here. Oh, my goodness. For the rest of us over here at Fireside Cast, we say thanks and good evening.
Good night.